Channel Z and Knox Brew Hub present Knox Brew Radio and Podcast, an in-depth look at the craft beer scene in Knoxville and the latest craft beer news from around the country and all over the world. Brought to you by First Century Bank, family-owned local banking since 1894, and by longtime friends of the show, Grayson Subaru. Broadcasting live from the Hub in downtown Knoxville every Monday at 6 p.m. And now, kick back and crack one open with local beer's best friends, Zach Roskop and Stryker.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Knox Brew Radio and Podcast. We are hanging out right now at Knox Brew Hub at 421 Union Avenue, where we do this show live every single Monday at 6 p.m. This is Zach Roskop hanging out with you, and as always, we have my lovely co-host and producer, which, what name are you going by now? What have we decided on officially?
You know what? You can call me Stryker. You can call me Dog. My mama calls me Kevin. It really doesn't matter.
All right, we'll go with
come up with a new one every week.
We'll go with just Kevin for the moment. That'll be the name for today.
Lovely.
Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for hanging out. We've got a wonderful audience joining us as well. Round of applause to you guys. Cheers. Yeah. Woo-hoo. I'll raise a glass and drink to that, of course. We've got lots of things planned this evening that we're super excited about, and I can't wait to introduce to you all our guest co-hosts. But first, we're going to do something that, one, we've never done before, and two, I did not tell anyone else at this table what we're doing, except for the fine gentleman sitting immediately to my left. This is my good friend Barry Faust, who is a man of many talents, and he's going to kick this show off in a very patriotic way by playing on the harmonica the national anthem. Please rise and join me for the national anthem for today's show. Oh man, that was just good, clean fun right there. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that so much.
I like how we got the national anthem and the state anthem in one back-to-back.
It felt like it, and I think we need an American flag in there somewhere. We need to get a flag in the hub somewhere, of course. So there we go. All right, before I introduce our guest host, I want to say a quick shout out to our sponsors. We've got two really wonderful local companies that help to make this show possible. They've supported Knox Brew Hub, Knox Brew Tours, and especially the show in a big way. And that first one is First Century Bank, which is a family-owned and operated local bank down here in downtown Knoxville. And they have done so much for us. We needed to print things. They've printed them. They've brought us stuff, walked it over to us. I probably shouldn't say that. I don't know if they do that for everybody.
Just you.
Probably, yeah. But First Century Bank is a great bank, and make sure to check them out. Thank you to them for making the show possible. And as always, Grayson Subaru. Grayson, it supports a lot of local businesses, a lot of people, and has made a big impact on us at Knox Brew Tours and at Knox Brew Hub. And so a quick shout out to Dan and the group there at Grayson Subaru.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I'll do a quick toast to our sponsors. Cheers, guys.
I will too.
Guys, this is a drinking radio show. There'll be lots of cheersing. Get ready.
Yes, there will.
Buckle up. All right, now without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest co-host. Our second one, as this is our second show officially. I think she might be a little nervous.
Oh.
She comes to us all the way from Wisconsin, and she came here to start a new life in a new city. And she did that by being first employed by Knox Brew Tours. Mm-hmm. This is a very good friend of mine, my number 2?
Yeah.
Number 1? I don't...
Number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. At Knox Brew Tours, Candace Preston. Candace, how we doing?
Hello, everyone.
Candace, thank you so much for joining the show.
Yeah,
now
thank you
also
for having me.
You also work at a Bridge Beer Company in the Oak Room as well.
Yeah.
And
So-
you've been there full time since COVID started.
Yes, since the world caught on fire, that has been my full-time gig. So I have been there. I am training coordinator over there, so getting all the new staff on board. And I've been with the Oak Room since they opened as well. And it's an awesome company. I'm really excited that I got to be a part of that, and so stoked to be doing this right now.
Well, thank you for being here, and thanks for hanging out with us. Candace is also going to be helping us out with a very important part of the show this week on Tap, the segment we're going to do towards the end. She's going to be helping us curate that list, and you'll be reading it off tonight as well on the show. So thanks for being a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Real quick, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about the Knoxville beer community?
Man, okay. Favorite thing about the Knoxville beer community. So I have worked in beer for the better part of the past decade, and I can honestly say that being a part of craft beer is akin to being a part of the coolest fraternity you could ever think of. And I have always loved craft beer in particular for the community aspect, and Knoxville just takes that idea and amplifies it times 100. I love the people, and I love the stories that we get to share here. And yeah, I love Knoxville. I love Knoxville craft beer.
Well, I've already said it twice. I'll say it for a third time. I'll drink to that.
All right. Cheers.
You already did.
I might need a refill.
You can at least clink me.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Ding. There we go.
Sounds great on the radio.
Awesome. All right, well, let's dive straight into it. Our first segment of every show is this week's Brew News. All right, coming out of brewbound.com, Constellation Brands beer portfolio has reported an 8% increase, or a total fiscal year of $6 billion. Now, you may wonder why we're reporting on a macro brand like Constellation. They carry a lot of Mexican imports like Corona, Modelo, and Pacifico. And that's because a lot of times when we see trends in macro beers improve, that tends to happen in craft beer as well. A lot of data is coming out showing that we are seeing the tail end of COVID, and we are seeing more sales in beer. And that's just one example of that increase. So hopefully that will continue for our local breweries and for our craft beer community as well.
Very nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Coming out of craftbrewingbusiness.com, this is a really cool article. These folks have been measuring what beer styles have been popular, as well as what vessels people are consuming beer out of more often. And I'm excited to see that sours are continually increasing month over month. I'm sure that doesn't surprise many people here if you guys like sour beers. That's good for Candace down at the Oak Room, that's
Absolutely.
for sure. Yeah. And also we're seeing 16-ounce cans on the rise as well. They're saying this is a product of COVID-19, as a lot of breweries are forced to package beer to continue to sell their beer, and a lot of people are enjoying the 16-ounce 4-packs.
Absolutely. More bang for your buck.
Exactly, tall boys. All right, so things seem to be on the rise. We're going to see more sours and 16-ounce cans, and hopefully things will continue to grow.
Yeah.
I kept it super short and super simple because I'm super excited about getting to our guest. So that's it for this week's Brew News. All right, now let's do our State of the Brewnion every week. We like to do a full and complete list of every brewery in Knox County and counties touching Knox County. I'm happy to report we have no changes from last week. Woohoo! Yes, this is a good thing. We have 21 breweries in Knox County, 3 taproom-only locations, 2 breweries coming soon, and 3 in concept. Anderson County's rocking 1 brewery in planning. Blount County's got 4 breweries, 1 taproom-only location. Loudon, Granger, and Union. Wah, wah, wah.
Maybe
0.
someday.
Who wants to start a brewery in Loudon, Granger, or Union County?
And that is the question.
We'll just put them all in a hat and just whatever one you pick out. That's what you got to go with.
Oh, man.
I'm hoping for Granger County so I can do a tomato beer.
Exactly.
All right, and then we got Roane
Enchiladas
County.
for everyone.
Yeah, 1 taproom-only location, and Sevier County's rocking 3 breweries and 1 taproom-only location as well. If you want to see the complete list, check out knoxbrewtours.com/stateofthebrewnion, and you can also see what we define as what, and because we get nerdy about it. And that's it for this week's State of the Brewnion. As always, we love beer, but we also love music, so we're going to play our brew tune of the week, take a quick break, and invite our guests up here to join us, and we might refill our beers as well. So, Kevin, what are we listening to this week?
You know what? I've got a very special brew tune of the week on deck today. And this one goes out to my lovely wife, Melissa, on our 13th anniversary.
That's today.
Yes, because
Happy
she was kind
anniversary.
enough to let me do a radio show on our anniversary. So
I'll drink to that.
this one goes out to the one I love. You are tuned into Knox Brew Radio, live from Knox Brew Hub.
All right, we are now sitting down at our table here, and we're about to get some delicious beers delivered to us, and not only to us, but to every single person joining us down here at the Hub, because we can't have a beer show and not drink some beer, right? Awesome. I'm still with, we still have our wonderful guest co-host, Candace, here with me, as well as just Kevin tonight.
Hi.
And I'm super excited to introduce our guest, which we're going to be interviewing here in just a second. Immediately to my left, if you're watching on YouTube or if you happen to be here with us, is Alex Rich, co-brewer at Pretentious Beer Company. Alex, thanks for joining us on the show.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me, bud. How
Happy
close
to-
should I be to this?
The
I don't
closer
know.
you are, the better.
Cool.
We can turn you down. It's hard to turn you up, though. There you go. Hey, we're getting turned, though, right? And then to his left, also joining us at the table, to keep this super simple, we also have another Alex with us, Alex Shirey from Clinch River Brewing Company. Alex, thanks for being on the show.
Hello.
Don't be shy.
Squared up in here, bro.
All right, let's just dive straight into it. We are going to start this off with a beer. In just a few moments, our wonderful bartender James will be dishing out some 4-ounce tasters of the Clinch River Split Personality New England IPA. Tell us your involvement. I know you were heavily involved in this beer. Tell us about your involvement with this beer.
Yeah, so we saw that Omega Yeast Company had come out with a new yeast. They've genetically modified a Hefeweizen yeast. They've taken out all the phenols, and it's supposed to be all banana. It's called Bonanza. And I don't know why I have this perverted idea in my mind of always wanting to put bananas in a beer. And
I'm
we've
not gonna
tried it
touch that
before,
one.
and it was really good before, but I was really psyched about this yeast, and I thought just the best iteration of it would end up being a really smooth, super fruity, fruit basket explosion.
Yeah.
So that's what I tried to do. It's also pretty bready, so it's got this weird mix of banana bread that's fruity.
Yeah. Any story behind the name Split Personality
It's,
that you care to share on the air?
I really didn't think about it that hard, but you're the fifth person that's asked me, and maybe I should have. I don't know. It seems like it's an allusion to something, but really it was just I don't know, a stupid banana split reference.
Okay, I got you. All right, perfect. Let's dish these tasters out.
Excited to
Man,
try
this
it.
looks beautiful already. It's got a nice, like you said, hazy color to it. And we'll see here. Everybody's got one. Just Kevin, Alex. All right.
Yeah, it's got
As you all get this, cheers
yeah.
to Alex and the folks at Clinch River Brewing Company. Yes. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. It's got very
Oh, wow.
that fruit basket kind of thing.
Yeah, and I use a lot of my favorite hops that people like to turn their nose up at for whatever reason, but Mosaic is always such a classic that gives you that really just red fruit, ripe red fruit, and Sabro, which I love, just gives kind of Sabro.
Every time I hear Sabro, I can't not do that, though.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did it for me.
I did it, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you did it for me.
But it makes it creamy, and it usually gives you coconut, which kind of I was hoping would add to that banana cream ice cream thing without actually having to add stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Barber Rouge, oh, so sexy.
Yeah.
It's strawberries, basically.
Well, I think now everybody looks like everyone's got a taster of it now. Let's do another toast here. Cheers, guys, the Clinch River.
Cheers.
So, Alex, let's start with you, Alex from Clinch River. I got to clarify, yeah. Tell us a little bit about what led you to Clinch River Brewing Company and what drew you to the brewing industry itself.
Probably most likely just a really terrible job that I had beforehand. And I was a bartender before the terrible job, and so I already loved craft beer. My aunt and uncle opened up a place and just really wanted me to be involved in it. And originally it was a distillery was the idea, and I was not
That was
very
the original plan?
Yeah, I was not really excited about that because I'm kind of like a puss when it comes to liquor, just in general. And then they switched to beer, and I was like, yeah, I want to be a brewer. I'm going to be a brewer, you guys. And that's pretty much how it happened.
That's pretty much how it happened. yeah, that's perfect. For those who may not be aware, tell us a little bit about Clinch River itself, where it's located, and kind of the inspiration behind the name and all that stuff.
Okay, so we're out in Norris, just below Norris Dam in the Norris Dam State Park. It's just this beautiful old TVA building. It definitely still looks like a TVA building. It's surrounded by nature. And
Well, since you guys added that patio in the front, it changed it up a little bit.
yeah, it did.
It's super welcoming and inviting, and it's a great spot to
absolutely.
sit there and drink a beer. I love that you can either sit in the back and drink a beer and look at the pond, or you can sit in the front and drink a beer and look at the river. Either way, you're going to be looking at some body of water when you're at Clinch River drinking a beer.
Absolutely. And that was, my uncle and my aunt, they're both, nature freaks, as we all are. So it was kind of the second, iteration of the plan, but ended up being the better one in that we all just felt like it was such a hidden treasure for something to be out there like that.
Yeah.
And to give the people of that area a place like that to gather was kind of their main goal. They wanted like a gathering place that felt like home, and that I really do think that's what it is. I feel like we've gotten to connect with so many people that live in the community that are just like constantly grateful that we've given them a fun place to hang out in that area. And
you have a beer named after an event that happened with one of your regulars, right? The brown ale.
Oh yeah, so the very first beer that was ever made at Clinch River Brewing was a brown. Brian's only stipulation for the kind of beer that we had to make was just make a brown. And the record brown trout for the state of Tennessee was caught in the Clinch River, weighed at the TVA facility when it was a TVA facility, and it was 28 pounds, 12 ounces. So our brown ale is called almost 29 pound.
Yeah, because every time I'm sure he told the story, it was almost 29 pounds.
Right.
It was never 28.2.
Yeah.
0.12.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But it's now hanging behind our bar.
The actual
The fish. The
Yep.
actual fish. They
That's
stuffed
awesome.
that bitch and had it. We heard about its existence. We knew it existed because somebody was like, oh, yeah, that was at the Clinton Walmart hanging in the fishing department for years. And I was like,
Did
what
someone
the
steal it from
hell?
Walmart?
Can I have it in our department?
I need to hear the story of how it got from Walmart to Clinch River, but
Thievery.
Honestly, I think it was like Steph Cabell. She
she might have scooped it, little
her-
5-finger.
one of her friends was with the guy who caught it when he caught it.
Okay.
So she knew him and, said that we wouldn't wreck it or destroy it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's a fitting place for it to live. It's safe.
It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
it's like when you order a beer, you go to get in line and it's like the first thing you see behind the wall and it's fucking huge. It's so big. It's got they put gills on it and it looks like it has teeth. It's frightening.
I totally understand how you stuff like a deer. I'm still trying to figure out the fish thing. I don't know how you stuff a fish, but I'm sure it can be done. We'll just we'll have to do a follow-up podcast on how to stuff a fish. We'll have to figure that one out.
Step 1, dehydrate.
Oh, we've got an expert. We got an expert here.
You just use some of that expanding foam, insulation stuff,
There you go.
and then put some epoxy over the outside. Screw it through a piece of wood, and there you go.
It'd be perfect. Awesome. So, Alex, Rich.
Alex,
This Alex, the other one.
What's up, dude?
What I'm curious to know, what got you into brewing first off, and then what was the path that led you to Pretentious Beer Company?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I was all about cooking. Being a chef was the dream. Then I'm just cruising down the road, and I kept hearing this commercial from South College on brewing and distilling, and I was like, that's an option. So I went to apply. It was a little late on the registration. Missed that. Sounds about right. And I went to every brewery in town. It was about 3. And
What year was this?
This was 2013, the summer of
so
2013.
there would have been Smoky Mountain, Sawworks, Black Horse, and Downtown Grill and
So
Brewery.
4, yeah. Okay. But yeah, they all shot me down. I actually did not go to downtown, now that you remind me of that. Should have. But Marty Vellis at Smoky Mountain Brewery gave me a chance. Shout out to Marty. Love that guy. And then I just basically started at the bottom there. I got real lucky delivering kegs, cleaning draft lines, and did that. I was there for 4 years, and then essentially Will Brady over at Pretentious became my buddy, and he was like, dude, you got to come work over here. So,
Yeah, I love that. That's a classic started at the bottom, now we're here kind of story.
Definitely. I think that's the way to do it.
And one thing that's really fascinating, too, is there's a lot of people in our craft beer community that cut their teeth at Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, it's definitely, I love that place, love the people. It is a great stepping stone. It's quite a large brewery, so you kind of get to learn all the inner workings of actually producing the liquid, distributing the liquid, and all that. So I'm grateful for my time there for sure.
Adam Engel from Alliance Brewing Company, who was our guest last week, got his start at Smoky Mountain Brewery.
Yeah, we just barely missed each other.
Just barely. And then Josh Hill over at Bridge.
Josh Hill taught me a lot that I know. I love that guy.
He was at Smoky Mountain as well. Chase, who is a new brewer at Print Shop Beer Company, was at Smoky Mountain.
Aaron Freeman out there. He's at a Bridge now.
Yeah. I know I'm missing somebody. Alex Violette, who started Elkmont Exchange.
He was one of the original brewers.
Was a brewer at Smoky Mountain Brewery as well.
Yeah. So a lot of, obviously there wasn't many options, so that kind of makes sense, but shout out to Smoky Mountain Brewery, man. They don't get a lot of love, but.
So I kind of love this about you all at Pretentious. You guys are very sort of art-minded and art-focused. And so whenever I ask Will or ask Matthew or ask anyone of the team over there, what does the name Pretentious come from? There's sort of a lot of different answers. So I'm going to ask you, what does the name Pretentious mean to you personally?
That's a
brewer
question right there,
at
dude.
Pretentious Beer Company.
God dang. Yeah, that's a tough one. I've always just went along with what Matthew told me.
Yeah, go for it. No, there's no wrong answer. I just want to know what it means to you.
I'm going to believe what Matthew told me. Shout out to Matthew.
Daddy
but
says.
essentially, in craft beer, people think it's very pretentious, to talk about the smells and the aromas of a beer or whatever, which I guess it kind of is, but we're just tongue-in-cheek, very tongue-in-cheek with that. It's a place you can come in and quickly realize nobody's pretentious. We're a bunch of assholes in a good way. But yeah, I mean, it's just tongue-in-cheek to me, honestly. Because I definitely do not want craft beer to seem pretentious at all. So
I remember at one point in time, you guys were serving PBR in a red Solo cup.
Yep.
And then all of your beers in a Pretentious glass.
Yeah. So actually, that was before we were a craft beer bar for about a year, and you could get anybody else's beer in a sexy little glass that Matthew blew next door at the Glassbone Studio. But if you got a PBR, it was in a red Solo cup, and you got made fun of.
And
I do like PBR.
And I had several of them.
Y'all drink more PBR than anybody else. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we've always got Old Style in the cooler.
Yes,
so.
we have Old Style here all the time. It's one of my favorites.
And Asahi. Shout out to Asahi. That's my
Well, I guess my big question, because the next beer that we're going to be having is a collaboration between you and Albright Grove, and I know Alex is rocking that amazing shirt. I don't know if y'all can see it on YouTube, but that Chanel-inspired tri-clamp inspired. But if you have any fun stories about some of the best collaborations that you've done, whether it be like not necessarily a brewery, but a brewing experience that you had during a collaboration, I would love to hear that.
This is a great question.
That is a really good one.
Preach.
There's one that comes to mind that I can't talk about right now or I'll get in trouble, but
I mean, you're getting trashed.
Let me
at
get back
every
to you
single
on that.
collab day, so like,
yeah,
It's-
alcohol.
There's a common theme here. All the collab memories are very hazy.
Very, very hazy.
Very blurry.
I have rules now. Like, I try not to drink before a certain point, but it
Well,
just depends who it is.
yeah.
And like,
I'll mention one of my favorite collaboration beers that has happened here in Knoxville was the collaboration beer we did for Knoxville Craft Beer Week 2 years ago, where we did the historic lager, and Adam Engel from Alliance and Chris Meadows from Elkmont took the lead on that beer, but everyone got a chance to be involved, and I'll never forget recreating that photo
that picture.
of all the breweries
That was
in
fun.
Knoxville. That was something that was really special. It was one of my favorite collab beer memories for sure.
That was very cool. Very cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would just say, if you go to a guest brewery, it is always cool to have the red carpet rolled out and be like, here's free beer, here's some food, and you just feel like a champ. It's awesome. I mean, I don't deserve it, but I'll take it. So.
Well, and the truth is most of the work is done before you get there. Yes. Like you put in the work, and then the brew days kind of. Yeah. You know. Especially when we start talking about this beer. Yeah, which we'll get to next. Yeah. Alex, do you have a collab story before we dive into this next beer?
I was just going to talk about how usually we, pretty much every year we do a collab with Crafty, and it seems like the way we've started to do it is that we brew a beer, and then right after we get done brewing, we go pick walnuts in the park across the street to start a tincture for our next collab, which is usually like a Nicino-based beer, so it's like a two-parter collab. And also we get shit-faced while we
I actually almost reached out to you and was like, hey, can you bring some of that violet sour? Because I was at Crafty the other day and tried their violet saison. Wow.
I wish you would have, because I have a can of it in my fridge.
It looked beautiful. I haven't had it, but it looked nice.
Well, actually, I have a can of Crafties in the fridge.
So after parties at Alex's house.
Thanks, Alex.
You have to guess which Alex, and then you also have to know where they live. So it's an exclusive party, exclusive after party.
We have been doing this new thing, this new idea with collaborations. Usually you're like getting back and forth on emails or Instagram or however you're talking, and you think of a beer, and then they come, you make it. And I've had times where it's like, you know, everybody's having such a good time, you're not really paying attention to the beer. It's not the best beer it could be. So now what we're trying to do is have the brewery come, we hang out all day, maybe some drinking, and then we talk about the beer together. And then so while the other collaborators are there, we're not actually making shit. We're just hanging out, getting inspired, you know, eating good, drinking good, and then think of a good recipe. So that's what we did with Zillicoa. We did a smoked dark barley wine, and that's in a barrel right now, so that's going to be good.
So good.
It was real good.
Yeah, and then actually this week, Thursday, I don't know if you've heard of Ouzel Finch Brewing Company. They're out of Virginia Beach, and they're coming. And we're just going to hang out and try to figure a beer out and then brew it later.
Well, and collaboration, too, is just, I think, a key foundation of craft beer, and that's part of what makes it a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Speaking of craft beer, by now everyone should have a beautiful 4-ounce glass of dark stuff sitting in front of them. Alex, tell us about this beer. This is the Pretentious Car Camper, which is an imperial stout between you and Albright Grove.
Yep.
So, what should we expect here?
So, yeah, man, this beer, straight up, I was sipping on it this morning just to try to figure out what I was going to tell everybody. And right off the bat, it just smells like, to me, milk, chocolate, and cinnamon. So it's an imperial stout with cocoa nibs, ancho chilies, and cinnamon. So the ancho chili, it's not a very spicy pepper. It's a little more on the smoky, sweet. I get a little tobacco, raisin on it. So I feel like it blends very well with the cinnamon, and there's probably about 10 different malts in this, especially dark malts. But super easy drinking for 8.7%.
Did you all make this beer? Did you all make this beer at Albright or at Pretentious?
We made this at Albright Grove, and I just want to shout out to Danny Boy and Nick. Daniel did it all, baby. I just hung out. So. Well, it was amazing, though.
Let's raise this glass and make a quick toast to Alex and the crew at Pretentious Beer Company.
Alex and Daniel, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, so it's
I'm definitely getting that cocoa nibs immediately, and then the raisin, the raisin tobacco, sort of almost like a dark dried fruit.
Yep.
Towards the end.
If you weren't told there were peppers in this beer, you probably wouldn't know. But that ancho chili, like if you ever just smelt a raw one, it's not what you would imagine, like a jalapeno or habanero. Right. So I love this beer. It's way too easy drinking. It's pretty medium bodied. I mean, it's a crusher. But
well, we're super honored and lucky to have it here at the Hub. So as well as the split personality. So if you're listening to this either live on Channel Z or later on our podcast, there's a good chance we'll still have the beer on tap here at Knox Brew Hub. So come and hang out and join us.
Wow. Wow.
I think we got a question from our guest co-host.
Yeah, so this is an Imperial Stout. What was it, 9%?
It's 8.7, I believe.
Okay, 8.7. So is it called a car camper because you have to camp in your car after you have few too many?
You know what? That's a great question. So we went through an email thread on what we should name this. There's about 5 of us on it, and most of the ideas that came from the pretentious guys did not make it. So, and then along with the Albright theme, they're talking, elk, or just that area in Gallenberg and whatnot. So car camper, like you're camping and stuff like that.
Yeah, Albright does a lot of Smoky Mountains
Inspired.
Yeah, naming and so on and so
Off
forth.
the top of my head, if I could remember what I was going to name this beer, I would tell you, but I can't.
Can't remember.
I think it's
Will you tell me
it's a mole
after?
stout. I do remember one of them was mole, but that one didn't make it. So
Not original. That's
you
not
gotta
original.
try.
Come on.
not much original about me.
So one question that we have been consistently asking has kind of become my favorite question. And if you need a minute to answer, let me know, and we can stall. Just Kevin and I are good at stalling. We can definitely stall. But I want you to imagine moving forward 10 years from now and looking back at the time that you worked at a brewery during a global pandemic. And I want you to share with us one positive experience or one positive memory that you'll take away from the last year or so. Maybe something that was unexpected or something that meant a lot to you and it was really special to you.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, I mean, I really have noticed that the community has rallied around these craft breweries to make sure that they stay alive. So with that in mind, how have you felt that the community has rallied around you and supported you through this?
Man, I could say so many nice things about how supportive people have been about us or to us when we're making this crazy transition into cans and just trying to fucking hustle and do the best that we can. But honestly, like, we got a lot of time off in the summertime. And
I always feel bad
we went
about
swimming a lot.
Yeah, I always
and,
feel kind of bad about saying this, but I think I kayaked more in 2020.
Yeah, me
Then-
too.
Hey, we all needed that shit, though.
Yeah, we
dude.
really did.
And it was fun. And like, I don't know, we still worked. And like, even when we were laid off, like, we were still coming to the brewery and making sure beer was not dying in tanks. And we did what we had to do. But at the same time, we were like, I mean, if you're not paying me, I'm going to go to the lake today with a case of beer and a floaty. And my whole summer was like a blur because it was just like a blur of fun stuff. I don't know. It was just kind of wild. We spent a lot of time outdoors and just had the best time we could with it.
It was kind of the break that we
All
needed.
needed, yeah.
But we didn't want it.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely not.
We didn't want it, but we needed it.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, I think I know, without getting into details, I feel like looking back, COVID-19 overall had a very positive impact on me. I think I'm a better me now than I was a year ago.
It's a mixed bag.
Agreed.
It's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But that's
And-
also a really cool thing about your location. I mean, that's one of
Yeah.
the benefits of having a brewery in a state park right next to a lake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
I'm not going to tell you where my swim hole is, but there's a swim hole, and locals only. Sorry.
What about you, Alex?
Let's see. Positives of COVID? Or
Just anything from the last year that you feel like will stick with you that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Definitely the thing that pops up in my head is when COVID hit, I guess it was March or whatnot, I had a whole month off with my wife, and I love her. We grew closer. Shout out to my wife. But a month of not working was absolute hell. So it truly just made me appreciative for my job, coming to work, and just seeing the people there, So,
Oh, man, the first
so
brew day
yeah,
back.
getting to work and do what I love is what I'll take from that, So
Yeah.
Real quick, you said first brew day back.
Yeah, like,
Tell me about that.
You take all that time off, and you're
how the fuck do I do this again? I
Well,
don't know.
you're so unsure about when everything's gonna get back online that, like, when you have the first brew day back, you're like, all right, maybe it's happening. Maybe I still have a job.
It was also pretty good. Obviously, I don't know about everybody else, but it was a little slow, So we had some extra tanks, so lager season. Got to brew a lot of lager.
We have talked about how
It's my
COVID had a
favorite beer, baby.
positive impact on lagers.
Yeah.
Lager life.
Well, I got to say, looking around this room, I could make direct eye contact with the people who really stepped up for the craft beer community and showed up and showed out and made sure that we were taken care of and supported and really were advocates for us. So, yeah, thank you.
I think that sounds like another opportunity to drink my beer.
Yeah.
So here's our 7th toast of the show.
Cheers to that.
To those who supported our breweries during COVID and made this all
Cheers to
possible.
you.
Cheers, y'all.
Thank you.
Well, before we let you guys go,
Is that not too smooth for?
it's fantastic.
Wow, that's, yeah.
I gotta say, I tasted it last week, and it's already gotten more depth of flavor, and it's really, it's coming around. I really like this beer.
Oh, so exciting. I also have to mention that we have tons of Clinch River package at the hub as well, and this collaboration beer, if you want to take it home with you, is available too. All right, before we let you guys go, is there anything else that you want to add? Just Kevin, Candace, do you guys have any questions we left out before we wrap up this interview? I'm opening the floor to anyone here.
I just want to say hi, Mom.
No? All right, before we officially let you go, will you let everyone listening know where's the best place to get connected and to stay up to date on what's happening at Pretentious Beer Company and at Clinch River Brewing Company?
If I had to guess, it'd be Instagram, Pretentious Beer Co. And then I'm pretty sure we have a website, pretentiousbeer.com.
Yeah, we have a website. Our menu, food and beer, is posted on our website. It's usually updated on Thursdays. That's the first day of the week we're open. And we typically do like food special updates and beer updates when we're releasing new stuff on both Instagram and Facebook.
And Clinch River is located just north of Knoxville, about 20 minutes.
It's not that far.
It's not. In Norris, Tennessee.
It's really not.
And,
It's a beautiful drive.
Stop making excuses. Y'all drive to West Knoxville all the time.
And Pretentious is located in the Old City. Candace, you want to add something?
Yeah, if I may add, seeing as how we're going to be introducing the This Week on Tap, hopefully you can follow us at Knox Brew Stories on our Instagram and Facebook, and that way we have a comprehensive list of what's going to be available in terms of events and special beer releases at both our craft breweries and our craft beer bars.
Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
It was truly an
Thank you.
honor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys are rad.
We definitely had some fun, I think.
I've had a blast, dude. Is this already over? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I can't
All right.
say.
To our wonderful audience here, thanks for hanging out with us. Let's raise a glass and toast one more time to Alex and Alex here at Pretentious Beer Company and Clinch River Brewing Company. Cheers, y'all.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, folks, we're going to take one more quick break and play another tune for you. When we get back, we're going to do our This Week on Tap, a list of events happening this week that you don't want to miss out on, and we're going to tell you what we got planned for next show. What are we listening to next, Just Kevin?
We'll do a little bit of the Red Hot Chili Peppers during this next break. We'll see you on the other side right here on Channel Z.
All right, it's now time for one of my favorite segments of the show, where we like to make a list of events happening this week related to Knoxville beer that you don't want to miss out on. But before I dive into that list, our guest co-host deserves a well-deserved shout-out. Candace Preston here, sitting next to me. Yeah.
Candace!
Woo-woo!
Thank you, everybody.
Candace has put in a lot of hard work to help curate this list. And we're going to be doing this every single week at the end of the show. And I want to say a quick shout-out to you, Candace, for your hard work in making this list as comprehensive as possible so we can post it every week on Monday so that people know what's going on in Knoxville beer. So,
to the ace of beers.
Yeah, to the ace of beers. I'll drink to that. You see the theme here, right?
Appreciate you.
Is there anything you want to add to that, Candace, before we dive into This Week on Tap?
Not particularly. I'm just happy to be here.
All right, without further ado, let's dive in Today, April 12th, on Monday, Hexagon has re-released 2 popular beers, their Indie Kush, a hazy mango New England IPA, as well as their Horny Otter Imperial IPA. They are also looking for local artists to feature in their tap room for the month of April, so contact the brewery for any opportunities to have your art featured. Again, they're re-releasing 2 of their popular beers tonight, their Indie Kush and their Horny Otter Imperial IPA.
And tonight at Crafty Bastard, they are releasing Creating Coalescence, a Flanders Red from their barrel aging program. And local artist Kelsey Walker is playing on the patio from 7 to 9 o'clock, so you can leave here and go check that out as well.
Also, tonight at Knox Brew Hub, immediately following this show, we'll have our traditional Emo Happy Hour every single Monday at 7. That's right. I know there's some people here super pumped about that. Well, either they came here excited about Emo Happy Hour or they wear all black every day just like I do.
Guilty.
What's going on Tuesday, Candace?
All right. Well, on April 13th, tomorrow, Alliance is re-releasing their popular Kolsch as well as a limited release passion fruit variant called Come Passion. The ladies of Alliance helped to create this beer to celebrate International Women's Collaboration Brew Day, which combines the classic Kolsch with a passion fruit puree.
Also going on tomorrow at the Barrel House by Gypsy Circus, acclaimed chalk artist Sarah Bella is doing a live art demonstration inspired by their peanut butter and jelly mead that is going to be released this week.
Yeah, and then Print Shop Beer Company in South Knox is doing their Tuesday pint nights this April, and $1 from every pint sold goes to the Water Quality Forum, a coalition of diverse partners working together to keep our waters in East Tennessee clean.
And Tuesdays at the Hub, we have Music Bingo at 7 p.m. We always have a good time listening to music. You get extra secret bonus points for singing along and dancing.
That's a bingo.
100% free to play. We'll have a good time. April 14th, this Wednesday, Zool will be releasing their VHS batch, their next one, number 18. The Maple Cake limited release can. Get it while you can. I'm sure it will go very quickly.
Yeah, and Crafty Bastard is doing a beer release of their hop project, Ariana. I was lucky enough to talk to Aaron today about what that's all about. It's going to be small batch releases using experimental hops, with this week's feature being Ariana, which is a hop variant with notes reminiscent of white wine and red fruits. And feedback is encouraged and appreciated, so make sure you stop by, and it could be the next hot hop on the market.
Yeah, Aaron's always open to feedback from people, especially beer drinkers. So
absolutely.
What's also fun about that is that on Wednesday here at the Hub, Aaron is going to be here at 7 p.m. for
apropos.
Yeah, we're doing a chess exhibition.
Nice.
Aaron will be playing 4 people in chess at a time.
At the same time?
And if anybody beats him, he has said he will buy their beer.
Wow, okay.
We'll also be putting the Big Bastard on draft here at the Hub. It will be the first and only time...
I'm going on draft?
This will be the first and only time the Big Bastard has ever been on a tap wall outside of Crafty Bastard Brewery.
Wow, good for
Greg, gonna come by and have one?
The mayor is happy about this one.
Well, this is a twofer, okay? You can come down here, play Aaron in a chess match, and if you beat him, you can force him to buy you not only a beer, but his own beer. It's like I've beat Aaron at a game of darts before, and he's bought me whatever was at the bar we were at. But to make Aaron pay for his own beer for me to drink, that's an extra level of awesome.
Well, it's almost literally like a 2-for-1.
It really is. April 15th, this Thursday, the Oak Room by Abridged will be releasing their new rum barrel aged Narthex Belgian Quad.
Yeah, it is pretty spectacular. Can speak from experience. That is an awesome beer, and I'm really excited to see the rum barrel aged variant.
I don't use this word often when describing beer,
Yeah?
but that sounds like a sexy beer.
It is super sexy, very sexy. Yeah. And then Crafty Bastard will also be doing a beer release of their Summer Splash Sippa, and that's going to be a return to their tap room.
Perfect. I got distracted.
Oh, okay.
Squirrel.
So do you want me to do the next one?
On Thursday,
keep going.
Zool will be releasing a new fruited sour variant with blackberry, blueberry, and vanilla. So we've got tons of beer releases so far this week.
Yeah, tons.
Well, I think we're really towards the end of this COVID thing, because when we did This Week on Tap, in October,
Yeah.
it was like this week the breweries are open.
Maybe.
And that's good.
And that's-
We'll see you next week, folks.
And that's all we got for this week
Please
on
go.
tap. Yeah, now our list is 10 minutes long.
Yeah, and the Casual Pint in Bearden is hosting Music Bingo sponsored by Terrapin, benefiting Second Harvest Food Bank, and that's going to be both the 15th and 29th of this month.
Over off Sutherland Avenue, Albright Grove will be releasing their Ridge Line Maibach. It has been lagered in a Chardonnay barrel for 2 months, and that is going to be a big beer. We're going to have that here as well at the Hub,
Yeah.
available on draft and in package.
Amazing. I really like their barrel aging program. And Geezers is going to be having live music at the tap room with Andrew Brochart. And new beer on tap over there is the Geriatric Punk IPA.
Apropos,
Yeah,
as you said before.
Apropos.
April 16th on Friday, Elst Beer Company will be offering 25% off bottles of their Saison as a pairing with a food from Bayou Bites food truck while supplies last.
And once again, Casual Pint Bearden is actually doing a collaboration with both Elst and Rosati's Pizza to bring you pizza and beer pairings all weekend while supplies last.
On the south side, Highwire Brewing Company will be hosting live music with Chelsea Berry from 7 to 9.
And again, on Saturday, April 17th, Orange Hat Brewing Company is actually hosting their grand opening, and they're going to be having a new patio that they're unveiling. That's going to be a ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock, food trucks, live music, and activities such as cornhole and axe throwing from 1 to 6 p.m.
You may be wondering, why are they doing a ribbon cutting? They've been open for over a year.
Yeah.
It's because their original ribbon cutting was canceled due to COVID-19.
Thanks, COVID.
Yes, they opened in February of 2020, and they are now going to be celebrating their grand opening in big fashion.
Yeah, I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be celebrating a lot of things, birthday, Christmas, everything, all in one, all summer long. Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
September for music festivals is looking a little stacked right
Ooh.
now.
Yeah, it is. In fact, I may have to take that month off.
See ya.
Yeah, Knox Brew Radio and Podcast is taking the month of September off. You heard
Or
it.
we may just have to do the show live from backstage at a festival somewhere.
Perfect.
Oh, no. That
Around-
sounds great.
Round 6 Brewing Company out of Maryville is hosting their first live music of the season in their beer garden at 7 p.m. with the Drift Boat Cowboys, as well as the return of their East Tennessee Sour Series, Black and Blue, Raspberry Beret, and the Lime into Coconut.
And also on Saturday is Crafty Bastard. They're doing a beer release of Terp Burps, a collaboration brew with Rush Hemp Farms with a representative on site to sell hemp products and various swag.
And if you missed that entire list, don't fret. Follow Knox Brew Stories on Facebook and Instagram, as we'll be posting that entire list first thing tomorrow.
We've got you, fam.
Yeah, so you can see the entire list of things happening this week that you don't want to miss out on. And that's it for this week on Tap. Thanks, Candace, for helping us make that list.
Thank you, Zach.
Hooray!
Hey.
All right, before we let you guys go and we close out the show, what's happening next week?
I don't know. You tell me. All I know is that you need to be here at the Hub for the full experience, because you know what? We have taken advantage of all the modern advances in technology that we have access to, and we have still not found a way to broadcast an actual beer through a podcast or through the radio.
So the only
or
way you can do
through
that is in
YouTube.
person.
You have to do that part in person. So you don't want to miss out. Come on down here and join us at the Hub.
Perfect.
It's a good time. Is it a good time, people? Come on. See, I ain't lying.
I can tell you we have not finalized our guests for next week's show. We'll do that very soon. But we have finalized our guest co-host.
Okay.
Next week, Charles Ellis will be joining us on the
Nice.
broadcast. So yes, yeah, good buddy of ours who will be the new general manager of Yeehaw Knoxville and also a home brewer as well. So
And I'm very excited about that, because that means I can probably finally get his jockey box out of the back of my truck that I've been driving around with since February. So, that's good.
perfect. All right, folks, thanks so much for hanging out with us. That concludes our radio show and podcast tonight here on Channel Z. I want to say one more quick shout out to our sponsors, Grayson Subaru and First Century Bank, for helping to make this show possible. It's truly an honor and a pleasure, and we love to hang out here every Monday at 6 o'clock. And you guys are making my heart so happy right now, holding your glasses up in the air. So without further ado, we will conclude the show with my favorite toast. Please raise your glass and join me, friends. To those who have seen us at our best, to those who have seen us at our worst, and to those who don't know the difference, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.